GE's experience in general aviation is relatively new in our 100-year history. When you think about general aviation, you always think about small prop planes. Now you have to remember, GE was one of the true innovators with turboprop engines going way back to the 1940s. And in fact, in the 1980s, we had a huge franchise with regional aircraft that were prop-driven with our CT-7. So turboprops are certainly no stranger to the GE portfolio, where we have a huge success. But then we began taking this experience by 2007 into this world of general aviation. One of the big moves initially was buying a company called Walter Engines. They were a very historic company in Prague, and they built an engine called the M601. Now, by the time GE buys Walter Engines, this company had definitely seen better days. The production was just about down to nothing, and essentially the factory in Prague, which was also in decline, was overhauling old engines. But we saw this as a play. It was a good opportunity to buy into this space and learn from our new presence in Europe. So we acquire Walter Engines, and we commit to a new factory for the company, and almost immediately introduce a new engine called the H-80. It's initially based on the old Walter engine, but with a number of new technologies that GE brings to the table. This is the benefit of having this large R&D budget year after year. We greatly modernized Walter Engines and even changed the name. It is now a General Electric business. And with this H-80, we were able to introduce new applications into the world of general aviation, and this continues to grow year after year. But in some ways, you can almost look like the H-80 was in a way a warm-up act for the bigger event to come. See, in 2015 is when we introduced an engine called the Catalyst. Now, this is a very advanced turboprop engine, employs a number of additive-made parts, and also has a digital system we first introduced on the H-80 that allows the pilot to control both the engine and the propeller with a single lever. Now, we had to greatly advance this engine because it is taking on one of the most successful engine franchises in all of aviation history. Since 1965, Pratt & Whitney's PT6 engine has been the engine of choice in general aviation and has sold thousands upon thousands of these engines. Think of the Pratt PT6 franchise much like our own CFM56 International, our partnership between GE and Safran, and its extraordinary success with single-aisle jets. This is how strong the PT6 is, and powers dozens of different aircraft. And so when we introduced this Catalyst in 2015, we knew we were taking on a major competitor with the PT6. We were selected by Cessna for its Denali aircraft, and we are now in the process of developing this very unique engine with this unique control system that simplifies the flying for the pilot. So even though GE is 100 years old and known mostly for its jet engines, we have made a very successful play in the last 12 to 13 years, beginning with Walter Engines, buying that company, renaming it, introducing a new derivative, the H-80s. We introduced the Catalyst engine, will be on the Cessna aircraft. So the future for general aviation is going to be very interesting for us, as again we leverage these tremendous technologies across our portfolio, identify new market opportunities, and also equally important, through this move in general aviation, we have a very special relationship in Europe we've never had before, and we are firmly grounded in the Czech Republic with this new exciting venture.